Hello and welcome to the DJ Force 10 in Conversation podcast, episode 120. My special guest today is Dan from the band Our City Fires. He is the vocalist of said band. They have an EP out called Foundations, which is available now, so go stream it, purchase it, however you consume your music, go get it. So yeah, we kind of sort of get an establishing interview about the band itself, where they've come from, what they've done, who they've worked with so far, and what their sort of plans are post-pandemic and everything like that. Speaking of the pandemic, I hope you guys are all well. And keeping busy and whatnot, and yeah, it's certainly still a strange time, but yeah, I hope these podcasts are sort of filling some of that for you. And if you do feel so inclined, you've got a couple of seconds to spare on your chosen platform of podcast listening to. So however you're listening to this, most of the places will have a rating system. I've noticed a couple of people have been throwing in ratings and stuff, which is absolutely fantastic, so please continue doing that. This helps bands like Our City Fires and stuff like that get noticed, and obviously it helps the profile of my podcast. Not going to deny that. There is like the other sort of motive behind it, but it's just I want to get these guys the exposure that they deserve on that front, because I am speaking to well-established artists. We've had Sepultura, we've had Lamb of God, we've had Enter Shikari, we've had August Burns Fire, all those sort of bands. August Burns Red. All these bands on the show that have like millions of followers, and we've got bands on here that have hundreds, thousands. On that front, I don't discriminate I don't look at followers and think, yeah, let's do that. But I want to get these bands up and sort of noticed. So especially at a time like this when we've got a lot of time on our hands to go out and not go out even, but go online and listen to music. We can go on YouTube, we can go on Spotify, we can go on Apple Music, we can go on Deezer, Stitcher, all these places that kind of have music available to you. You can go in there, listen and discover new bands, and just do it. You've got the time now. Do it. That's what I've been doing, and that's how I've discovered bands like this. And it's been really good. I've got a whole bunch of bands coming up for you as well, and I hope you guys are sort of enjoying this, because I am on that front, and it just makes it all worth it if I can see that sort of come out in ratings and stuff like that, because I get various statistics on how many times it's been downloaded, how many like followers potentially I've got, and all that kind of stuff. But that means nothing to me. It's just more I just want to get exposure for these guys on here. But anyway, enough of my inane rambling. I'm going to give you Dan now from Our City Fires. Enjoy.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No, it's all right. No, it's all good. I like the conversation. So it's good to talk to someone in these times. So
yeah, definitely.
Exactly. So I'd like to welcome Dan to the show from Our City Fires. Welcome, Dan.
Thank you very much.
And how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. A little bit cabin fever, but it's all good.
Cool. Well, we're here today to talk about your band, like I mentioned earlier, Our City Fires. You've released an EP back in February called Foundations. Before that, you sort of released a couple of singles off of it, Runaways and Live a Lot.
Yeah, that's right.
Ones. Cool. And yeah, I just kind of like it. It's more of a discovery sort of like moment for me. So I just wanted to sort of get some background on your band, like where you guys are from, what you guys are into, sort of how you got together.
Okay, so we're based in Leicester, and we are heavily into, I would say, I don't know, alternative music.
Yep.
Anything that we don't like to get penned in too much, I suppose. But if you listen to our songs, they are quite, I don't know, alternative and rock.
Yeah.
But as the personalities of the bands would differ in what we like, I suppose. What we write just seems to come out like that. I don't know. I can't explain it. But influences and stuff. I would say personally, I'm the vocalist. I'm hugely into Carnival.
Cool.
I love Deftones, Incubus, as we said earlier.
Yeah.
I'm quite heavily influenced by Brandon Boyd. I think if you listen, you could probably hear that.
Yeah,
kind of
you do hear some. So. Yeah, you do hear some Incubus melodies in your song.
Yeah, I do. I used to just cover "Pardon Me" constantly when I was younger. So.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Sorry, what was?
No, I was asking like how you guys got together. Like you know, what are those sort of backgrounds like? So
the drummer and the guitarist Harry, they were in a band years ago called the Reckless Youth. Okay. And they were touring the UK, and I was in a band called Little Dead Town, also touring, and both bands pretty much just hit the brakes, and we were the members out of those bands that just didn't want to stop. Okay. So we kind of just came together through that, and then they already had our at the time bassist, who we've just parted ways with, Danny.
Yeah,
and I got Guy in, who's the rhythm guitarist, and then from there we just bloomed from there, if you like.
Okay, cool.
That's it.
All right, cool. How long you guys been together, like as a sort of like cohesive unit?
I think 2 years.
Okay.
It's still relatively new. I mean, 2 years all together, and then probably a year and a half touring. Okay. It takes a while, doesn't it, to get to that level. We're doing little gigs and stuff first, and then we started touring after that. So, yeah, probably on the scene a year and a half, 2 years.
Okay, like cool. So, a nice new band. Excellent. Your EP is brilliant.
Thanks, man.
I really like it. Like you said earlier, it's got that kind of Incubus-esque vibe. Along with, like, I can hear all the kind of, like, those influences within it, so that I can hear a little bit of the Deftones. I can hear a bit of... like I said,
you can't hear no Carnival in there.
no, not such a Carnival.
I wish that you could.
Yeah,
you can't.
No, that was one I was going to mention. Actually, that was the first time I've heard that band's name in a long time.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, my friends were obsessed with them, and I love them as well. But obviously, because they're not like native of this area, it's kind of like they kind of disappeared a little bit, especially in sort of my sort of like eyesight, if you will. But no, then you said that again, and because I've been like interviewing quite a few bands recently that have kind of got that carnival vibe, like the more, sort of like instrumentalist type stuff as well. And kind of like the kind of, I suppose, Tool-esque in its manner as well, some of it. But that's a band name I hadn't heard for a while, but that's a good influence. I like that. So
I'm obsessed. Those and Dead Letter Circus, I'm all about that.
Yeah, no, they're good as well. Another good one. I like that.
Yeah.
So let's have a quick chat about your EP. Foundations, okay. Like how that came together for you guys, and what you're sort of like, or how it's been treated so far, really, because it's already out. It's been out for, where are we now? We're in April, so it's been out for about a month and a half.
A few months.
How's that been for you guys?
Well, obviously the plans for it were a lot different to what is happening now.
Yes.
We had huge touring ideas for this, plans for this. Yeah. We also had, probably not supposed to say this, but I'll probably, sod it. But we would go. It was supposed to be sold in HMV, and we were going to do like the in stores and stuff, and obviously they've shut now, so that's not happening.
Yeah.
But before all this came to pass, it was going really well. It came out, everyone was loving it. The Insta's growing and growing off it, so it's going really well, and people seem to like it. The videos have gone down well.
Excellent. And it was released off your own back, is that right? Like
we released it ourselves. We recorded it with Matty O'Grady.
Yes.
Which is always fun because he's just so fucking good.
Yes, I was going to say his like, when I saw that name in your in like the sort of bio stuff that got sent out. That was a name I already knew of. I was like, yes, his production is nice. I like that, and he's worked with some really good bands as well.
He's perfectly suited to what we do as well. I mean, we've got that You Me at 6 thing.
Yeah.
In our repertoire, if you like. We kind of sound like Mallory Knox, You Me at 6. So yeah, he's perfect for that. He just goes in, he knows what should be done. He'll tweak and advise. Do you know what I mean? As you go in, and it just makes things better. He's just he's a top guy as well, man. Yeah, such a nice guy.
I was going to ask what it was like to work with him, because it was sort of like you said, he does give you advice and stuff like that. And I worked with various producers in the past. Some are hands-on, some are kind of like, just get on and record it, and I'll deal with it later. But
we like the arm around our shoulders kind of approach.
Cool.
And he's such a dude as well. So I'll just go down, because we can't. The way that we record is a bit maybe a little bit different. I don't know. It's difficult to know. You probably know about the way people record more than I do, but because you get so many people telling you. But the way we go in and do our own parts, because we all work.
Yeah,
we'll go in for one day all together. We'll give like the vision.
Yep.
Of what we want from the EP, and then we'll go back and do our own parts. So I'll end up spending like 2 days solid, just me and Matty in the studio, and the other lads are at work doing their thing. Do you know what I mean? They've already put their stuff down. So to go in and just sit with a guy for 2 days, you need to be able to get along.
Yes, definitely.
And he's just so easy to get along with, man. And we can lock horns about things, and I like that about artistic right. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He'll say one thing, maybe I don't agree, and we'll meet in the middle, or it's just cool to do that with, and I liked the people like that. Do you know what I mean?
That's good, because you need to find someone that you can work with. Like I said, I've worked with a few, and not all are like helpful to the creative process. Obviously, some people don't always invite that in. They'll be like, no, this is my vision. This is exactly how I want it. I'm paying you to do it this way.
Exactly.
But,
yeah. I mean, when you got someone with his kind of, what would you call it?
Pedigree.
Back catalogue. Yeah, pedigree.
Yeah.
If he tells you something might sound better if you try it this way, you'd be an idiot not to try it that way.
No, exactly. Exactly.
At least try. Do you know what I mean? Open your mind. No. But yeah, I mean, the songs sound better for it, man. He's such a good guy.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a solid EP. It sounds great. I've had a few of the songs on kind of rotation as I've sort of been preparing for various interviews and stuff like that. I sort of made my own little like playlist. But I really enjoyed Runaways. That was the first track I actually heard of yours.
Nice.
Back when it was sent to me. I think it was back in January, actually.
That's when we released it.
Oh, okay, so that's about the right time then.
Yeah.
And then I really liked, what was it? Had It All was a good track.
Yeah. See, I'm getting a vibe of what you're into now then.
Yeah.
Because they're like the two heavier songs off the album.
Yeah, I like my heavy music.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I also enjoyed the title track as well. So,
yeah,
you know, so
oh, cool. That's more pop, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do have a guilty pleasure for pop music.
Same.
Being a DJ, you kind of like I got exposed to that as a young age, and it's part of my upbringing, like just like pop music and stuff. But my love is with heavy music of all kinds.
Yeah.
So
respect to that.
So excellent. What I don't know if you've got anything running up, but what are your plans, sort of post pandemic?
Well, again, we actually have some huge plans in place, but because they've not been announced, am I allowed to tell you? I just don't know.
Probably not.
Don't you think so? I don't know. See, you probably, if you'd have poked a little bit harder, you'd have probably got it out of me then, but maybe I'm not allowed to say. So we have something coming up that we're going to announce next Friday.
Yep.
And it is hands down the biggest announcement RCTFIs have ever had. It's super exciting. So let's hope all this clears up, and by September we can have something really special for everyone.
Tell you what, September, if everything does clear up, there are going to be a lot of packed houses. Like gig-wise, I think that's going to be that's something I'm going to have to encourage people to do. Just get out and go to these things, because
I think that people won't take it for granted as much as they have in the past. I think that this might change people.
Yeah, no, it definitely will. There's no doubt about it. I mean, a lot of people like yourself, you said you're going a bit cabin fevery, a bit stir crazy in the house, but
yeah,
you know, once this thing is kind of over, you know, I wanted to go for a drive the other day, but you can't.
No,
you know, not without a purpose. Like, so if I was going to the shop or something, but we'd ordered everything in, so we've been quite fortunate to get delivery slots. So
yeah,
it's just been a bit like, you know, I was sort of going to show. I DJ on a regular basis as well, so I was going out, and now I'm not, and it's like, oh, okay,
yeah, this is it. Let's hope that this gives the music industry the boost that it actually really needs.
Yes,
people going to gigs, and because I mean, at the minute you got people sweating to get out of the house. So let's hope that they embrace that when this is all over.
Yeah, no, exactly that. So I've got a couple of questions left for you, Dan, if that's all right.
Yeah,
these are kind of centered just around you. I think we've already covered some of it, but this kind of elaborates a bit more on your sort of influences side of things. But what are your top 3 albums that have influenced you to be the musician stroke person that you are today?
Oh God, these are. So, for a musician, as you will very well know, this is not an easy question to ask, because if you asked me tomorrow, they would be different.
Well, I'm going for the one that made you pick up the microphone, you know?
Okay, well, that's an easy one then.
Go on then.
That would, without a doubt, be Science by Incubus.
That is a fantastic album. I love that album.
Yeah, that would be the catalyst of me wanting to grab a microphone. Definitely. I kind of taught myself to sing off that album. I think, okay. Just kind of listening and replicating and then just trying to do my own thing.
Yeah, I love the DJ work on that album. DJ Life was like crazy good.
Good.
I mean, Kilgore Now is brilliant as well. Don't get me wrong, there, current DJ, but like that album and like Fungus Among Us and everything before that. I just. I love that DJ work on there. Yeah, you know?
Oh, it's so cool. Fungus Among Us was a little too jazzy and underproduced for me.
Yeah,
it was when they started, everything just became cleaner and just that little bit more.
Yeah, there's a bit more production behind it.
Yeah, the production behind Science, the jump from Fungus Among Us to Science was ridiculous. Yeah. It was huge, wasn't it?
The EP was Enjoy Incubus. One before it that was sort of a step up, but it wasn't quite at Science level, but I think
that's it.
That was kind of like the demo stroke sessions released, and then
it kind of felt like they'd been taken over by a label, and the label had said, look, you're great, but this is the kind of what we think you should be doing, because it just felt so different.
Yeah,
it was.
Well, there was so much difference between like those albums, like those first. Obviously, the demos, Fungus Among Us, etc., and then the jump to Science, then the jump to
Make Yourself.
Yeah, Make Yourself, and that's another huge jump for them. Like,
oh God, yeah, that's when they became A-list, weren't it? Make Yourself. They became
arena band at that point.
One step closer to Morning View, which was the big time.
Yeah, exactly that. But all those albums have got that sort of jump to that point. Yeah, so they've kind of made that journey, and they're sort of now revisiting Make Yourself and everything, because that's now, what was that, 20 years old or something?
Yeah. Oh my God. Showing my age, yeah, that's it. Deep breaths all round.
But no, I mean, but like, take it back to the Science album. I love that album. I've got it on vinyl somewhere in front of me. It's in my collection somewhere, and obviously I've got the CD. It was one of the, like, I remember picking up that CD.
That's just beautiful.
Yeah. Cool.
I think vocally, that would be
cool.
That would be. I listened to a lot of random stuff back then. I was quite big into Marilyn Manson back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Antichrist Superstar.
Yeah, I remember picking that album up as well.
I'm a huge Metallica fan. Anything Metallica.
That's funny actually, because I saw Metallica at Reading Festival. I think it was that year. It was that year, and I bought the Marilyn Manson Antichrist Superstar album that day because they had a CD stand. So
Yeah.
that's a good little link there.
That is a badass album, though. That's such a good album.
Oh, it is. No, totally, it is. It's you know, his the previous album to that was one again. It was sort of like, you know, not greatly produced, but
yeah, wasn't that Portraits of an American Family?
Yes, yeah,
yeah, not great. It sounded like it could have been done in a garage, doesn't it?
Yeah, but obviously,
they're concept artists though. That's what I like about them. Him and Trent Reznor.
Yeah,
they were just artists, like proper in their craft.
Yeah,
it's wicked. Trent Reznor is a legend.
He is an Oscar-winning legend.
Absolutely.
Who would have thought that 10 years ago?
Well, anything you listen to now, like, have you watched The Watchmen? And he does the soundtracks for TV shows, and you can immediately tell that it's him and that Atticus Rob. Just immediately tell it's them. It's wicked to have that's such a style that I can watch a TV show and immediately know that it's him.
Yeah.
I love it.
Amazing.
Sorry, I'm digressing.
No, it's good. I like this. This is good. It's a nice little deep dive. So, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, I mean, let's bring it back to the question. You got two more to pick. So, what?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because we got Incubus Science as your sort of like what made you pick up a microphone. Are there any others that kind of what got you into like heavy music? What got you into?
So a lot further down the line, we say a lot more recently. I would say Sound Awake by Carnival, I just listen to constantly. I just love it. I think it's amazing. And vocally, it is pretty much flawless. It is fantastic album. And then, God, there's so many, man. I don't know. Give me a second.
That's all right. Have a think. All good.
Well, I mean, at the minute, I'm really into Nothing But Thieves. You listen to them?
I've heard of them, yeah.
That's a lot closer to what we're doing, I suppose, now. But they're just a lot more... they're able to do whatever they want, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
They can do like a ballad, or they could do a rock song, or something in between, and it just fits, and I'm envious of that. So at the minute, I'm listening to them quite a lot just to draw some sort of inspiration for our next record. Yeah. Really trying to get into that kind of that vibe where you can just pull things off without people wondering what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like making it fit. Like you could, like say, you go off onto a ballad, but then you go into a full-on rock song, and there's not many bands that can actually like do that effectively.
No, pulling it off without people wondering what you're trying to achieve is
exactly. Not
a trick in itself.
You're making a soft song to be more commercially viable or anything like that. It's literally like you're making an album that speaks to someone as a whole rather than the singles.
Absolutely.
That makes sense. So
it does.
Is that what you're kind of planning next as an album, or are you going to go for another EP?
Do you know what? It's just affording them because we do them ourselves.
Yeah,
we've got material coming out of our ears, but we kind of just, like we did with Foundations, we just wrote God knows how many songs, sat down and argued and drank and ate for ages, and just pulled these 5 songs out. In the end, we came to some agreement that these 5 songs were the ones we were going to go with.
Yeah,
it's just so expensive.
Yeah,
to do an album for us. You know what I mean? Because we're doing it ourselves. But we will get there, definitely.
Do any of you use like home recording stuff, or
So our guitarist Harry's got his own like homemade studio thing in his conservatory. So we demo all of our tracks there, and then as the demoing process is going along, we just send them to Matty, and he'll kind of just be like, well, maybe this one's worth working on, maybe this one isn't. You can do better than this. Do you know what I mean? And so we keep in touch with him, always.
That's
really
good. That's good.
Yeah, we're good mates. So that makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, I'll say it's good you've got someone to send it to as well that are kind of is away from the band but has a good ear for it. Because that's something that you don't, don't take that for granted. You know what I mean? It's one
absolutely.
Of those, it's actually an amazing thing to have. Because like when I was in a band, we were kind of like self-produced for a lot of our stuff initially, and it you don't have that outside ear to give you a sort of heads up. Not that anything that like I thought that we released was trash or anything like that, but looking back on it, we had some demos that I thought were a lot better than I did initially.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously I can't use that now, but it's like it's like just sort of like if I had that extra ear, we could have like sent to and said, "What do you think of these?" Yeah, they would have said
honest opinions only. Yeah.
Like what was it? What they called it? Fearless feedback or whatever. You know, where they can openly not openly criticize, but constructively criticize what you've got.
Yeah.
And you'll know it's coming from a good place because they're a professional. They're not just like sort of like random person.
Some troll trying to kick your ass.
Exactly. You get enough of that when you release the song. So.
Yeah, you really do.
It's like, where were you during the recording process, you know? It's like...
The thing is, it's so easy to love your own music because when you're writing it, every artist or whatever, you're your own worst enemy, aren't you? Your own biggest critic, if you like. So you've critiqued it to death.
Yeah.
So you get it to where you want it.
Yeah.
And then because you want it there, you think that it's good and everyone's going to like it and you live in this little bubble. But realistically, that's not the case. And that's why albums can bomb.
Yeah.
It's, like you say, it's really good to just have someone that is not afraid to be brutal with us, and he will.
Yeah.
If he thinks it's shit, then he'll happily say so.
Yeah.
No, so that's good.
That is good.
Yeah.
Cool. So Dan, finally, what are your hobbies away from music? So when you're not doing our City Fires or what you were doing before or anything like that, what do you do to kind of get away from it or wind down or just have a separate sort of thing from it?
I would say I'm a functioning alcoholic.
Cool.
God knows. I like a drink with friends. I like to play football. I've got a little girl, so she takes up a hell of a lot of my time.
Yeah.
And then I'm a bricklayer, so I'm full-time in that, so that takes up a lot. And the band takes up so much time. It is really super difficult to fit much else in, really.
Yeah.
I was just about before this kicked off was ready to start learning how to snowboard.
Okay.
But, that went out the window.
Yeah, that's not a hobby you can pick up in the downtime, is it?
Not at the minute, no.
You look a little funny in the back garden on a board, just rocking back and forth.
Mate, I haven't got a garden. I'm trapped in the house.
Oh no.
Yes.
Oh, no. Who's your football team?
I'm West Ham fan, mate.
West Ham.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I got family from down there, so I got forced into that for my sins as a kid, and
okay.
So it makes for interesting Saturday afternoons anyway.
It does. I can imagine it does. I'm always like that. That's like because I'm a Liverpool fan, but I live way down south. Right?
Really? So how do you feel this is going to go? Sorry,
I don't want to know. I've been waiting 30 years.
Mate.
I'm every time I look at the sports pages, there's always talk about like the European games being suspended. I know that all the lower leagues have been, like all the non-league stuff and semi-pro leagues have been suspended, like done for the season.
Yeah. What would you rather though? Would you rather win it and no one be there to celebrate it, or then postpone it or cancel it?
I would rather win it outright, because if we don't, then because I am a Liverpool fan, I am a target for everyone. And because I am
painted that on your face.
Yeah, and because I'm down south as well, it makes it even worse.
Like, yes.
I mean, you support a southern team, and you're kind of almost up north. So,
Midland. Yeah, I'm up there.
So, it's kind of the opposite way around, which is very unusual.
I know. Yeah.
But no, I just at the moment, I would rather see it like the games played maybe behind closed doors until because it's not just because all intents and purposes we've won the Premier League. There's no sort of like doubt about it. Like 2 more wins and it's ours. It's fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
But it's the relegation battle that I'm kind of like, that's the legal kind of like part of it as well. Like I mean, I always love watching the bottom of the league in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because the top of the league kind of sorts itself out after a while. There was like last season where Liverpool and City were kind of like just running away, and I was like, please fucking win, and we didn't.
Yeah.
But we got the Champions League, so I'm like, yay.
Yeah. But it's that Prem you want, isn't it?
It is the Prem we want. I was like, if anything happens this, like when we started like going on that run, and I'm like, I don't want to say we're gonna win it, because last time I did that, Gerrard slipped up, and
God, yeah,
and the whole season went. But
God,
but no, this year I've been like, just like, I can't believe this has happened. It would only happen this time, right?
Yeah.
But I want to see the leagues finished, basically, just so we've got everyone where they should be. Because I'm a fan of football as well as like Liverpool as such, but I love watching games. Like, I'll try and watch as many, because I don't subscribe to any of the sport channels. So whenever football's on like terrestrial TV, or like it was on Amazon Prime for like a week, I was loving it. I was watching it. FA Cup games, I love watching those, especially when it's like the little teams versus, well, if it's two little
They really
teams.
scammed everyone with that, didn't they, Amazon?
Yes.
They really, really saw people coming with that one.
Yeah.
Put the free football on so everyone signs up, and then it just sods off straight away.
Yeah. I'm like,
I was fuming.
well, I use Prime anyway. That's so their TV service was a bonus. But I just like, I can't pay £30 a month or whatever it is for Sky Sports and BT Sport and just to have everything. Because when I was living I mentioned before, I was living in Florida, they actually had all the Saturday games on TV.
All right.
Like, including the all the 3 o'clock kickoffs as well. And and one of the TV providers actually put them all on like these like auxiliary channels, so you could pick what game you wanted to watch. So I that one season where Gerrard slipped up, I watched every game that season. From the comfort of my own home, and it was on like, because there's a 5-6 hour difference. I got to watch them early in the day and had the rest of the day to do everything else. But it was
there's some tears before bedtime that year then.
Yeah, a little bit. It was actually tears during the day, I think it was. But yeah, no, it was. It's football, isn't it? It's
it's hard work, man.
I have to play Football Manager to kind of get over it.
You got plenty of time, mate. Get involved.
Yeah. I think they dropped the price on it as well deliberately. So then the latest.
They ain't stupid. Yeah.
No, they ain't at all. It is the perfect shutting game, though. To be honest, it took away a lot of my like teenage youth.
Yeah. Well, I'm just getting into Uncharted at the minute.
Ah, nice.
Uncharted 4. I'm all over that.
Yeah, I've got the first 2.
Oh God, it's so good.
They are really good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I made the huge mistake of giving my girlfriend the controller the other day and just didn't get it back for hours. Watching her jump at walls and stuff was just, it's like hell.
That is the price you pay.
Yeah, it is. It was a steep price. I didn't think I deserved it.
Cool. Well, Dan, thank you very much, man. I really appreciate your time and everything. Good luck with the EP. And all your sort of stuff post-pandemic and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, cool. Thank you very much, man.
Thanks a lot, man. Really appreciate it.
No worries. Have a good
like I said, watch this space. We've got a huge announcement coming Friday, so
cool.
Keep your eyes peeled for that. And then thank you so much for listening. And cheers for the interview, man.
Awesome, man. No, have a good one, Dan. Have a good one, mate.
Cheers, dude.
Cheers.
Nice one. Bye.